Hi, welcome back to our channel, Transform Your Life. Handling power skillfully. When something upsets you, you are tempted to use the little power that is available to you as a father, a mother, a teacher, somebody, to change the situation. This is exactly the moment to stop and contemplate. Practice looking deeply into the nature of what upsetting you to see what is the most mindful and compassionate response may be. If you cultivate the 5 powers mentioned in the previous chapter, you naturally begin to acquire another source of power, the power of leadership, as people turn to you for advice and influence. 3 virtues are required if we are to be true leaders: the virtue of cutting off, the virtue of loving, and the virtue of loving. Insight. The first virtue you need to use your power skillfully is the virtue of cutting off. You cut off your anger, your craving, and your ignorance. Another way of saying this is letting go. If you don't have this kind of self-mastery, you can cause yourself and others great suffering, and people will not respect you. A good leader also has the virtue of loving. You have the capacity to be affectionate, to accept, forgive, and embrace the other person with loving kindness and compassion. When you have this power, you are happy and people respect you, not because you shout at them or scold them, but because you offer care and compassion. A good leader also has to have the virtue of insight. Knowledge is not the same as insight. There are people with numerous EAGs who know a vast array of scientific, philosophical, and literary discourses by heart, who can give eloquent commentaries. But they don't have insight. They don't have wisdom. Wisdom or insight is born from looking deeply. A genuine leader has the wisdom to show us the path out of suffering. Simply having the title of leader is not enough. Titles do not give true power. When you practice mindfulness well, and you radiate joy, stability, and peace, you acquire a much deeper authority. When you speak, people listen to you, not because they have to, but because you are fresh, serene, and wise. A good leader is one who exercises only this kind of authority. You can evaluate the quality of your authority by looking deeply to see if compassion is the foundation of your leadership. See if your authority comes to you because of your spiritual insight rather than your wealth or your position in the community. If you don't practice the 5 powers and the 3 virtues of a true leader, the power you hold in your hands can turn against you, because without spiritual authority, we are always at risk of being seduced by the power we possess and abusing our power. Suppose you are an employer or a teacher. Because you are in a position of authority, you may be tempted to impose your will on your employees, your students. As a parent, you know that it can be hard not to use your power as a parent to control your children. But if you do that, you create a lot of suffering for your children and for yourself. Many people resent their parents because their parents misused their power and authority. Before he left his family to become a monk, Siddhartha, the man who became the Buddha, saw that his father, the king, who was politically very powerful, still felt helpless much of the time. His father saw corruption around him but wasn't able to stop it. He was still caught in fear and craving, with fear, anger, and confusion controlling us. The exercise of political power can bring only suffering to us and the people around us. One of the main reasons Siddhartha left his family and renounced the throne was his understanding that political power by itself couldn't help him or his country to be happy. Siddhartha was determined to discover another kind of power, a spiritual one. Business leaders, stockbrokers, and politicians seek financial and political power, and it seems like there is never enough. Buddhists and many other spiritual seekers also want power, but they seek the powers of faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and insight. These powers are unlimited, and they never do any harm to anyone, including oneself. Money and fame are not evil in and of themselves. But if you don't know how to handle them, they become evil. The way you use money, the way you use your fame can lead you and many other people to suffering. If we are wise and have spiritual power, then money and fame will do no harm. In fact, they may be helpful. It is possible to use money and fame with wisdom to relieve suffering and create happiness. Whether money and fame are helpful or destructive depends on how we handle them. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.